Spider-Man Brand New Day is one of the biggest movies of the year and the final Marvel movie before Avengers Doomsday. The expectations were sky high, and after watching it, I can say one thing. This is the most emotional Tom Holland Spider-Man movie we have ever got. But is it actually worth watching, and does it set up Doomsday in a satisfying way? Let's break down the good, bad and the ugly. I will also talk about the ending and the post-credit scene in spoiler section. Let's get started. The good. The story. The story takes place a few years after the events of No Way Home. Nobody remembers Peter Parker anymore. He is completely alone and spent his life protecting New York as Spider-Man. But things are getting weird. Peter begins experiencing mysterious mutation that he can't even explain. At the same time, mysterious villain starts targeting the Department of Damage Control. As Peter tries to uncover the truth, he gets pulled into something much bigger than a simple crime story. What I really like is that the movie stays grounded. It focuses on Peter as a person before throwing it into larger events. This is easily one of the Tom Holland's best performances as Spider-Man. The version really feels like the tragic Peter Parker we have seen in comic books and even in Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy. Spider-Man has become a better hero for New York, but Peter Parker has lost almost everything. You can actually feel that loneliness throughout the movie. The world has moved on. MJ has moved on. His friends have moved on. But Peter is still living with the memories of the life nobody even remembers. Tom Holland sells every emotional scene, and because of that, the movie feels much more mature than his previous Spider-Man movies. The cameos. Yes, there are plenty of cameos. Some were already shown in the trailer, while others were kept as surprise. The best part, none of them feels forced. Marvel has been criticized recently for adding cameos just for fan service, but here, almost every major character actually pushes the story forward. Instead of distracting from Peter's journey, they make it even stronger. That's exactly how cameos should be used. One of the biggest surprise for me was just how important FrankCastle is. FrankCastle steals every scene. He isn't just there for one cool action scene. He actually has a meaningful role in the story. He brings some funny moments. You also get one emotional scene that I genuinely didn't expect. The action. The fight scenes are fantastic. There are multiple action sequences, but for me, there are two that stands out. The first one is the fight between FrankCastle, Spider-Man and Hulk. The choreography, the camera work, and the pacing makes this one of the best fight scenes in the movie. The second is Spider-Man versus the Hand. This fight really shows how dangerous the Hand can be as an organization. The synchronized action set piece is really one that stands out in the entire movie. And the comedy. Marvel humor can sometimes be hit or a miss, but here it actually works. The jokes don't interrupt emotional scenes, and many of them are genuinely clever. Some of the banter between characters had the entire theater laughing. If you're enjoying the review, make sure to hit the like button because it really helps the channel, and don't forget to subscribe. Now coming to the bad, the ending. The ending is good, but it is also very predictable. Most people probably guessed where the story was heading long before the final act even began. I'm not saying it's a bad ending. It works emotionally. I wish there had been one shocking twist that nobody saw coming, or a completely different ending that sets up the next movie. One more thing that I didn't like about the movie was MJ's new relationship. MJ's new boyfriend storyline feels underdeveloped. The movie introduces it but doesn't really do much with it. It feels more like a setup for the next Spider-Man movie than something important here. Hopefully Marvel expands on it later. Also for me, for about 95% of the movie, the visual effects look great, especially the swinging scenes. But there were also a few swinging scenes where the CGI becomes pretty noticeable. There's nothing that ruins the experience, but then, while the new cameos receive plenty of screen time, some previous established characters from Tom Holland's Spider-Man trilogy barely appear. Some only get brief mentions. Although this is understandable because after No Way Home, nobody remembers Peter Parker anymore. The story is intentionally focused on his loneliness. Still, I would have liked a little more time with some familiar faces. Now comes the ugly. Honestly, I don't have a major complaint here. My only disappointment is the post-credit scene. Marvel has trained us to expect huge post-credit scene that completely breaks the internet. The movie does include an important setup for the future, but isn't as mind-blowing as fans were expecting, especially considering it's the final movie before Avengers Doomsday. Now coming to the spoiler section, if you haven't watched the movie yet, skip to this timestamp. The ending sees Spider-Man convincing Jean Grey that she's still a good person despite everything she has gone through. It's a powerful and emotional moment, but like I mentioned earlier, it was fairly predictable. We also learned the head of Department of Damage Control, Medzer, has escaped. For those who follow Marvel news, they might know. In the upcoming Mutant Saga, he's going to be one of the major antagonists. Then comes the post-credit scenes. It hints that an incursion has started in the main timeline. And if true, Marvel has the perfect opportunity to bring back Tobey Maguire or Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, or maybe even introduce entirely new Spider-Man before Avengers Doomsday. The possibilities are endless. Now comes the final verdict for the Spider-Man Brand New Day. It's easily one of the best Spider-Man movie in Tom Holland's career. It finally gives us a grounded story that balances superhero action with Peter Parker's emotional struggle. This Spider-Man movie that understands who Peter Parker really is definitely worth watching. So that's it for my review. Comment down your opinions about Spider-Man Brand New Day. If you enjoyed the review, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and share with your friends. Thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one. It's your boy Random AF signing off.